How often have you found yourself in situations where you hung out with friends, or you were in a social event, or even a gathering at home, and you have this sense afterwards that you're still lonely? There's a lot of good things happening. These are relationships that are perfectly fine. And yet there's this feeling of lack of experiencing a depth of connection that you sense that is missing. And if you look at the way we're conditioned to live, we think that taking care of all the details of our lives and exchanging all the details that need to be talked about and talking about the circumstances of our lives is the way to live. It's the primary way of being in relationships. Yet, what's missing in that is that we are feeling creatures, and we have feelings that are ongoing. We have experiences that we're going through. And this conditioned thinking that keeps focusing on talking about the details of our lives doesn't help us feel more connected to the experience that we're having. Imagine for a moment if we could actually prioritize the depth of connection that we're looking for, which is directly correlated to the experience we're having, giving it attention, giving it a way to be expressed, giving it a way to be seen. And I want to help you see the challenge behind this is that our monkey mind is trying to protect us. And the way it does that is preventing us from sharing details of our lives that really matter, like the things that we deeply care about. We can create relationships that are based more on the first level of connection, which is about the circumstances. But it's not the same as the deeper feeling of what am I experiencing as I'm going through this situation, and what will happen if I actually reveal the true details that I can't take back. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're going through some financial trouble, or maybe a partner lost their job, or a family member that was helping support you to, let's say, purchase a home, or whatever the circumstances are. But let's imagine that now you're faced with the possibility of going through a foreclosure. Who do you feel comfortable sharing that with? And where are you in terms of, if you share it with someone, what is actually happening inside of you? Does your anxiety go up? Do you feel safe to do so? Or are you sort of managing it by sort of managing the details without ever revealing the deeper truth of what's happening? And this is a byproduct of the monkey mind, is that it'll have us talk about that we have some financial difficulty, and maybe that's as far as it'll go. But if we actually were brave enough to say, wait, I'm faced with this situation that maybe my home will go into foreclosure, now it's something that we can't take back. And the deep fear about not being able to take this back is, who will they share this with? What will they think of me? And if you observe how far this goes and you bring it back to yourself, and you can start seeing that we are measuring our sense of worth and who we actually are and our sense of character based on the situation that is happening. And of course, we feel anxiety to share that with other people. Yet let's observe the fact that without this kind of exchange, we end up feeling lonely even when we have relationships. The principle is extremely simple, is that in order for us to experience a depth of connection, we do need to feel one another in the real experience that we're having, not in some version of a story of the experience we're having. It's important to notice that I'm not suggesting that we go around and start sharing with anybody the struggles that we're going through. What I'm referring to is actually building an authentic relationship with ourselves and with the other person. And that if we do that, if we learn to be brave enough to do that, that will bring us into a depth of connection that is so fulfilling, that makes us feel seen, that makes us feel like we matter. It's not coming from changing the circumstances. It's just coming from being able to share authentically what is really happening. Take an inventory for a second and think of it this way. How many friends do you have who you feel completely secure to call if you're having one of those situations, like something big is happening and you're struggling with it? And just think of that for a second. And what makes you feel comfortable to share that with that person? Now, think of this a little further. Do you have a friend that when they're down, you're the person they call? And notice that there's an exchange that is happening here between two people. And this exchange is not based on stories or building more drama or giving advice. All of these ways of interacting with one another are actually staying at the first level of exchange. Well, what I'm talking about is that we can be with someone and share a depth of the experience that we're having, and that person can make space for us. They can see us and they can help us ground our nervous system, because in that moment, just the experience of not being judged is absolutely the biggest relief we can possibly get. Would you want to do that for someone? Would you want to be able to be that person who brings that level of presence? I know I do in my life. I deeply crave these kinds of exchange, because once we experience that just one time with someone, there's a connection that happens now that starts to form. And the next time we do it again, it gets even bigger. And at some point, we feel that there's a fulfillment in life that wasn't there before we did that. Now, I want to observe that it's important to also understand that we have to be willing to be introspective about ourselves. This is not about going to a friend and asking the friend to fix this problem, or even to provide a solution, or even focus on the fact that they're going to help us, get beyond it. Even that thought is not really about connection. Connection is not about changing ourselves or changing the situation. Connection is just about being present with the experience that we're having. And it's a phenomenal, it brings so much relief to be able to do this. Now, here's the other thing that I noticed happens, is that the monkey mind has built a story that we will be rejected if we do this. And what I found has been the contrary, that the majority of people are actually really compassionate, and they will have empathy towards what you're going through. Now, maybe not everybody knows how to deeply listen or to be present. A lot of people might jump into advice or want to give you some solution. Yes, okay, that might happen. But ultimately, what I notice is that most people are extremely kind in the way that they respond when we share authentically. That's the other thing that starts happening when we have the courage to do this, is that we then start building real experiences that reinforces a different perception of the world. And it's no longer, oh, this is scary to do so. This is beneficial to share in this way. The other benefit that I've experienced is how when I build this kind of relationship with a close friend, I notice that I can ask this friend how they perceive the situation. Meaning, I might have a judgment about myself, for example. I'm thinking, wow, you should have seen this coming. You weren't very prepared. You should manage your finances better, or you should have saved more money. There could be a lot of judgments about the situation. And then unconsciously, the tendency to want to attack my character and define myself by this situation, right? Oh, my house might go into foreclosure. Imagine asking that friend, once you've had a chance to be present with it, share it, and now your nervous system starts to calm down and your friend is present there with you. Imagine just asking your friend, what's your perception of me? How do you see me? Does that change anything in the way that you see me? This situation I'm in? And this moment can be one of the most pivotal moments in our lives, because what I've noticed is that the people who are close to me, who know me well, they will immediately say, that makes no sense. The way you're judging yourself makes no sense. And they will describe more accurately the person that I am. They'll be able to help me see that, no, actually, you're a very courageous person and you're a very responsible person. And yeah, you make mistakes like every one of us, but that's not the same as the person that you are, who is this really creative soul and this visionary person. They'll start sharing with you very real facts about the truth about who you are. Here's my invitation. Relationships are about what we put in it. And if we decide that what we want is more than what we currently have on the first level of connection, which is this exchange about the details of our lives, and we want to experience someone else sharing what they're going through, and we want to feel safe enough to share with them what's going on for us, then we have to select a moment, we have to select a person, and we just do it once. And if you do that, observe what happens. Observe the truth and take a moment to reflect afterwards and ask yourself, was this really scary? Was this something I shouldn't have done? Or did this create more depth of connection? Do I feel closer to this person? Do I feel closer to myself? And notice. And then build more moments like this in this relationship and then in other relationships. Take it one at a time and one moment at a time. And your monkey mind will begin to shift into trusting that vulnerability, openness, and authenticity is actually the most powerful experience we can give ourselves, and we can give to other people as well. Thank you for spending this time with me. This podcast is meant to be more than just information. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, is that we are wired for connection. And if we are to learn the skills of living beyond this monkey mind that can be so overwhelming, it's best to do it together. And for that purpose, we've created groups. We call them pods, and we name them Aviv la Vie, which means live life to the fullest. Come and join us.